Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us for our brand new show. This is the Inspired Tubers Show. We are here to help you be more inspired as a creator. We're going to be talking about the mindset of being a creator and some of the principles that can help you grow your YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are watching this on the replay, make sure you give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. We're going to be helping people as they grow. Today, I wanted to talk about one of the number one key principles that I have found is one of the most important things to use in everything you do on YouTube. When I started really drilling down, well, okay, what is the things that we think about that's the number one mind principle that you could put into effect to grow yourself as a YouTuber, as a content creator? It's intentionality in everything you do. It's something that we talk about all the time. I said it over and over again last night as we were doing channel reviews. Uh, we need to be very intentional about everything that we do on our YouTube channel. It's one of the big areas that a lot of people are struggling with as they create their content. So, one of the things that we look at as we're going into being intentional is the first thing you area of intentionality that you need to bring into your YouTube channel is in your value, understanding your value proposition and what value you bring to your community, to your niche, and to the people that are following you. Before we keep going on, I just wanted to say hello, Adrian. Thank you so much for joining us today in the chat. Hope you are having a fantastic day. Thank you for coming. We had fun last night. For those of you that missed it, last night, Adrian and I did channel reviews right here on our channel. And you can check that video out. We had a great time. We had a good turnout. A lot of people showed up to see what we had to say. Intentionality in your growth is one of the most important things you can do. So, bringing intention into your value that you're bringing. And this is one of the things that we help people with that I've been talking to people about is how do you be more intentional as a creator as far as a little groggy after last night. How do you bring more intentionality to your value that you provide as a creator? The value proposition should be a single statement. It's your elevator pitch. It's that one single statement that you can say that explains what your channel is about and how you help people and what you're helping them do. It should tell them what they should take away from your channel after watching any piece of content on your channel. And when you create this value proposition, then you have to weigh every piece of content that you put out as to whether it falls in that value proposition or not. For example, with our value proposition, the value proposition that we use is we help educational YouTubers to create content, inspire their viewers, and create a profitable business with their content. So everything that we do is about how do you inspire your audience? How do you create engagement with your audience? How do you create better content? How do you teach through your content? And how do you then monetize that content and turn it into a profitable business? Every piece of content follows under each one of those pillars in our strategy. It's very strategically planned out so that we can take people on this journey of growth as they become started as a creator. Our intended target audience for our channel particularly is new YouTubers, people that are just starting out on the platform. So the strategies and the tactics that we teach are more towards people that don't know the platform. They don't have that experience yet, and they maybe haven't done content in any other form. And hopefully everything is good. I tried to do a little test stream and tested out my sound. I'm hoping everything sounds good today. Uh, we are making some progress on the sound studio. We've been rearranging the studio again. I still am not happy with it, but we're continuing to work on it, continuing to grow. But one of the things that we're looking at is being more intentional as you craft that value proposition. And what is your value? What is the value proposition for your channel if you have one? If not, what is it that your channel is about? And what is it that's different about you than everybody else, or what everybody else is doing in your niche that could set you apart and give people a reason to watch your channel instead of the hundreds of other channels in your niche? Leave me a comment below and let me know what your value proposition is. And if you don't have one, what's stopping you? What struggle are you having with figuring out what that value proposition is for your channel? That's one of the key areas that you need to focus on first. If you don't have a value proposition for your channel, you could just be making random content all over the place and nobody's going to really watch your channel because nobody knows what your channel is about. But once you have that value proposition, then you can, it guides everything that you do. It guides what you put in your banner graphics. It guides what you put in your About Me page. It guides what videos you create and what content you're putting on your channel. Because you have to make sure then that everything you do falls under that value proposition. And what are you doing that's going to help know who that ideal audience for your channel is? For example, our ideal audience are brand new YouTubers that want to teach through their content. They have a message to share with the world and they're trying to figure out how to use YouTube to share that message. Now, there's a lot of channels out there, and that doesn't mean our advice wouldn't fit anybody that doesn't fit in that value proposition, but that's who we're targeting. And so we're crafting our message, we're crafting the advice that we give specifically to talk to people that are in that particular space here on YouTube. I'm not just talking to anybody that wants to be a YouTuber. Now, there's some of the things that are best practices. There's a lot of things that we talk about that are best practice that'll help anybody that's trying to grow a YouTube channel. But that's not the target audience. We want to really drill down a very specific audience, especially when you're new, when you're small, like we are. You know, we're creeping up on 100 subscribers. Thank you guys so much that have been subscribing to our channel. But we've really drilled down who that ideal audience is. And yes, it puts some limitations on your channel, but it also makes a very highly targeted, highly focused channel, which is going to help you in the long term as you grow, as you really get in there. And as you do that, it's going to also help YouTube really figure out who to serve your content to, which is going to help your growth faster. The more you can drill down who you're talking to and tell YouTube who you're talking to, that easier it's going to be for them to serve your content to the right audience to help you grow your channel. Another thing of intentionality is I see a lot of people that are very passive in how they're running their channel and they're reactive instead of proactive. Are you being reactive to how people are viewing your content? Marie, hello. You can't see why we are buying you a coffee. That is just something that we've set up. It's a site that we're using that helps us. It helps people that want to support our channel since we're not monetized yet. It's a way that people can still support the channel if they want to and help us with our content as we're putting more stuff out for people um, prior to reaching monetization. I was actually going to bring it up later in the show. I wasn't going to bring it up quite this early yet. So I'll go into it a little bit deeper later. But that's one of the things of intentionality is what are you doing intentionally to monetize your YouTube channel and to allow people the opportunity to support your channel, even as a small creator. You know, a lot of people are so hung up on getting to that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time that they don't pay attention to the myriad, huge plethora of ways that they can monetize their channel before they ever get there. And often I see a lot of people that do embrace this and that start monetizing early And by the time they get to that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, they're making more money than they would make through AdSense anyway. So, and that's how we're growing our channel. Like right now, with where we're at, we're so small. Every little bit of that comes in is going right back into the channel right now. So it's helping us to pay for the services that we use. We use TubeBuddy, we use StreamYard. Those are paid services. So anything that comes through those donations that people make to our channel goes straight into helping us to pay for those fees. We also use different tools and services. We're buying gear. We're trying to upgrade our studio. So that's how we're paying for all of that. That's why it's sometimes slow growth, is because, as money comes in, we buy a new piece of gear. As money comes in, as people, do things to support our channel, we're able to buy more equipment and do more things to better serve the audience and create better content. But being intentional about how you do that and not being too pushy about how you do that is really, really important, especially if you're small, because it can drive some people away. There's some people, especially like, I came from the reselling community. There's a lot of people in the reselling community that are really super viciously against anybody monetizing outside of their reselling business. I think that that's ridiculous myself, but there's a large attitude of that in that community. But inside other communities, it's more mainstream. It's more acceptable to monetize in other ways. So this is part of knowing your niche and knowing the community that you're building and how they will respond to those kind of things. But it's also, if you incorporate those things early on, then it's not going to be a shock when you have this big following of people, and then all of a sudden you're throwing this monetization in place. It's not going to shock people because you put those things in place. I've had affiliate links. I do affiliate marketing where I get commissions for referrals. And I've had affiliate links in every single video since I started this channel. And more people coming in. Hello, Kathy. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining us. I did see you last night briefly, but I was spending more time on other tabs, so I didn't see the chat a whole lot. So I didn't see you when you first came in. And Fleetwood, I hope you got some value out of our review of your channel last night. Thank you for joining us again today. So I was not trying to offend anybody that I did not see in the chat yesterday. I was busy looking at the other channels, so I didn't see the chat for most of the channel review session we did last night. But one of the things that we looked at is we were looking at other people's channels, as we were looking at a lot of things. I see a lot of things where you got to be intentional about every single thing you do on your homepage. This is where we were talking about, what links do you have? Where are you sending people away from your channel? So if your intentionality, if one of your primary goals for your channel is to build subscribers and viewers on your channel, then everything you do that sends people away from your channel is counter to your goals. You're taking actions that are going in the opposite directions of the goals you have for your channel. So if you're wanting to grow, then you need to do everything you can to keep people on your channel for as long as possible. This is why we said don't put those social media links in your banner where you're sending people away. I even recommend not putting the, and I know YouTube provides it, but not putting the links to other people's channels on your homepage, where people could be leaving your channel to go watch somebody else's channel, because you want to keep them on your channel, engaged in your content as long as possible. The more of your content they view in one session, the more YouTube is going to recommend your content to their content. For example, I was just watching TubeBuddy this morning with Dee and Daniel, and now everything I look at on YouTube, half of my recommended videos on my recommended list right now are from TubeBuddy, because I was at their channel this morning. I've been watching a lot of their videos over the last few days anyway. And so because of that, they're recommending a lot of their content to me as a viewer, because I've been watching a lot of their content already. So that's why you want so many people watching as much of your content as you can. When you're doing short videos, are you funneling? We were watching Dee and Daniel talking about YouTube Shorts this morning, and strategically, and Daniel was even showing some of his results from doing this. And it's something I've already talked about doing. It's what I've been doing. It's one of the things I've been doing with the storage scavenger with some of the shorts over there, is doing these shorts that are clips out of some of the videos that we've done and directing people into the full video. And those shorts are getting traffic, some through the short self, but also through search and recommended traffic, and it's funneling people in. Some of my views on the storage scavenger right now, some of the most uh, highest traffic sources are my own shorts, where we are funneling people through from a short video using a pinned comment, a comment in the description, the end screen video that pops up, all being to the same piece of content where they can see the full video that clip came out of. And that's the thing I'm doing here. I have found that so far, my talking head shorts that I've done from clips from these videos and these live streams don't do as well in the shorts as more entertaining content. The shorts need to be very fast, and more entertainment based rather than educational based, and then funnel them into your more educational based content. That's one of the things. So I'm trying to figure out how to, still keep my educational focus, but be more entertaining in how I do it, so that I can get some more traction on my shorts on this channel. Hello, PA. Thank you for coming. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We appreciate you joining us today. So being intentional about everything you do, being intentional about the content you create, how you create that content. So one of the things that we're looking at, we're talking about being intentional, being proactive instead of reactive. So are you looking at your videos that you put out, and are you trying to make shifts in your next piece of content that are going to help increase your watch time, that are going to help increase your engagement with the viewers? That's one of the things that we're doing. Being intentional about what type of content you're putting out. For example, this channel right here, one of the things that I've been really, really looking at in the last week or so, my most popular content, if you go look at my top 10 list, 7 out of the 10 videos on my top 10 list are my live streams. They have some of the most watch time. They have some of the most engagement. They're having some of the most views. And that's something I'm very, very intentionally looking at right now and considering. I haven't decided yet, but I'm considering going straight all live stream content on this channel, because that's what's working for me. That's what's getting the most attention. That's what's getting the most views, shares, likes, comments, my live streams. So I'm looking at the possibility of just going straight live stream and not even doing the pre-recorded content on this channel. I haven't decided if I'm going to go that route yet, but it is something I'm considering. Doing that will, it can hurt and it can help. It can help us to grow a more solid community. I enjoy the community that we're building here. But thinking about looking at your statistics and thinking about what content am I putting out? And it's also looking at what categories of videos you're putting out that are getting the most attention. For example, if you're getting a lot of attention on your videos that are on, a specific topic within your niche, you might consider drilling down and just focusing for a little while on that one topic. I've seen a lot of people get explosive growth doing that. Then the downside of that is that you get all this growth doing that, and then when you start branching out into other topics, a lot of those viewers may not come back because they may only be interested in that one topic. So, for example, I've seen this a lot with other channels that focus on, well, let's just use, D. Nimmin. I love D. Nimmin. one of the things that he's talked about that he didn't do was drilling down to that one focused topic. And so he helps mobile content creators to create better content using their mobile devices. But he does some videos that are for Android users and some that are for Apple users. Well, the Apple users aren't interested in the Android viewers, and the Android viewers aren't interested in the Apple videos. So there's a fragmentation of his audience there. And he's even said that one of the things that he did wrong was not focusing on just doing Apple and forgetting Android. He was trying to help everybody instead of focusing on that one area. And that would have built a much more focused audience. But then if he had started doing more Android and more general videos, then it would have lost some of that viewership. But it builds that more focused attention when you're building up. And as you're building up, as you're such a small channel, that's going to help you really stand out. And it's also going to help other people. For example, one of the things that we talk about is being intentional about promoting your channel. I see a lot of people that are just putting content out there and hoping YouTube will share it for them. And they're not really spending any time, effort, or energy in promoting it themselves. One of the reasons why we are on other people's live streams, going to other people's chats, going to so many Facebook groups, is because it's an opportunity for us to talk about what we're doing with our channel and to connect with other creators. And that's one of the things that you want to do. You want to find niche specific channels to hang out on, niche specific groups in other social media platforms to hang out on. Find the top people in your niche and become cyber stalkers to a degree. You want to get out there and, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitch, TikTok, follow them everywhere they go so that you get seen by them everywhere they go. And they start to get to know who you are. And eventually they're going to get curious enough to check out your channel. When you do that, you're going to get people that are more engaged in what you're doing. You're going to get people that are going to come back to see what you have to say. And they're going to start paying attention to what you have to say. And you may not be big enough for them to really, give you a lot of credit right now. But as they see your growth and as you help their community, then over time you can build that relationship with them and get to a point where maybe you can do a collaboration. But you got to have something to bring to them. You have to have something to bring to a table that's of value to them. When you set yourself apart by having a very specific subtopic, that gives them a reason then to want to share your content because you have something that is very specific that might help their audience. For example, I talk about Dean Inman. If you're a mobile creator, because a lot of people ask me questions about mobile stuff, I'm going to send them to Dean Inman because he is the expert at mobile creation and creating content with your mobile devices. He knows everything about how to create content with mobile devices more than I do because, I did a lot of content with mobile, but it's very limited as far as I haven't explored all the different apps out there and I haven't explored all the different devices out there and all the different ways of using different technologies available. So even though I use mobile for a lot of my content, I'm not as much of an expert as he is. So I would send people to him because he is known for that. So figure out what it is you want to be known for and focus your content on that one thing. And the way I do this, and even as a small YouTuber, you will find these little sub niche topics that maybe are talked about. They might be addressed by the other big YouTubers, but they're not being targeted. They're not being focused on by anybody in your niche. And you can find that and find your way in where you become known as the expert as you grow for that particular topic. So you have to be very intentional in how you're doing that. Getting out there and promoting your content instead of waiting on YouTube to promote it for you? Are you out there sharing your content with other people that are relevant to your niche? Not just sharing it on your personal Facebook profile or on your personal Twitter feed that's filled up with a lot of people that aren't interested in your content, but are you sharing it on groups or on pages that are specific to your niche? Making sure that you're only doing that in groups and places that it's appropriate as well. Like I have some groups that don't allow any form of self promotion at all whatsoever. And if you're in those groups, and I still get a lot of value out of those groups. I learn a lot from being in some of those groups, and I've still made some really great relationships being in some of those groups. So I wouldn't say completely avoid them, but they're not a place to go to try to promote your channel. But you might find other groups, as much as you find groups that don't allow it, you will find other groups that do allow some limited forms of self promotion, or the groups that are almost completely about self promotion and sharing your links and sharing your content. And so you want to join a variety of those groups and become involved and be an active member of the community. Provide as much value as you can right then and there. And then occasionally recommend people to a piece of content you have that would answer a question somebody's asking. But I do a lot. I mean, I've had a lot of times people ask me a question in one of these Facebook groups, and I have a video on how to answer their question. And instead of directing them to the video, I just give them the answer right then and there. I don't drop a link to every video I have. It's serving the community where they're at instead of trying to send them somewhere else to serve them somewhere else. If you do that, you're going to build up those relationships and you're going to get people interested in what you're having to say. And sometimes it's just something as simple. And there's some of you that follow me right here for no other reason than because I wasn't even necessarily in there answering all your questions, but I was in there simply seeing you in a chat, seeing you on somebody's channel, offering some encouragement whenever I see what you're doing, sharing some advice, offering some encouragement, and simply being courteous and saying, hello, good morning, how are you? You don't know how many relationships you can build with people in live streams, and all you ever do is say, good morning, hello, glad to see you today. I've built relationships with people in these communities just doing that. Simple, common, everyday courtesy. So that's good morning. Good morning, Yomi. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Brandon. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank y'all for coming today. Hope y'all are doing well. It's different in different niches. Again, this is where you have to just dig into the rules of the groups. I find them on Facebook. I mean, I can go into Facebook and I find hundreds of groups on YouTube marketing. And some of them don't allow any promotion at all. Some of them allow limited self promotion. So, in other words, if you can't just go in and make a post about your latest video, but if somebody asks a question about a video, you can link to a video. So again, this is where understanding the rules of those groups is really, really important. But then I know some groups that's all they are. I'm in groups that are just basically link farms, and everybody's just dropping links to their videos. And sometimes they're not that great of groups. I don't go into the ones that are just all link spamming, but there's some that are like a good mix. And some groups like do it very controlled, where they like do once a week or once every week. They say, here's a post where you can drop one of your links and share your content. So I like those kind of groups because I can get a lot of engagement with the community. But then when they do that weekly link drop, I can get in there. I can share my content. I usually watch some of the other people's contents, like and share and comment on their videos. I find videos. I look for ones that are something that is alignment with my personal interest anyway. So it's something I would already watch. It's not just something I'm watching just for the sake of them watching me. It's not a watch for watch. It's not a sub for sub. It's something I'm doing to support another channel that I would be watching anyway. And that's something. And if you're doing niche specific stuff, I love YouTube growth stuff. I love watching what other people have to say about it. And like one of the things that I find is, we all have our own experience, our own journey. And there's a lot of the things that we talk about that are best practices that kind of almost all the YouTube growth people I watch kind of have similar things because that's what YouTube tells us they want to see. But there's other things that I keep getting comments like, I don't know, I didn't even count how many times somebody said, I've never heard this advice before. Thank you for sharing. And I get that almost every time I do a live stream, at least once or twice. People are saying, I've never heard this before. I never thought of it that way. I've never heard somebody say it that way. That's what I try to do because I'm sharing my experience and I'm sharing what's worked for me and what I see working for other people that I talk to. So sometimes the advice I share is in alignment with what other YouTube's growth people are saying. And sometimes what I say isn't in alignment with what they're saying, but it's something that works. Like I know a lot of them that will tell you, don't waste your time with networking. Well, when they can put out a video and instantly get it in search and they can get 1,000 views within the first day of the video coming out, that's good for them. But most new creators that I talk to can't do that yet. And it's not because you can't trigger the algorithm that early. It's because you haven't developed the skills to be able to do that yet. It takes a while to develop the skills to be able to get those thumbnails really compelling, to get people engaged in your content and watching your content longer. It takes some time to develop those skills. And the best way to shortcut that is by networking with people and getting people to come check out your channel yourself. And then getting those people engaged in your content and getting people to follow you. YouTube works. I mean, for me, YouTube's best way to grow is networking. But there's a difference between what the thing that a lot of them use is there's all these quote networking channels. Everybody support everybody, sub for sub. That's networking in the wrong way. If you're just networking for subscribers, and your networking is just to get people to subscribe to your channel, and those are not viewers that come back and watch your channel. But if you're networking to build relationships with people, and then you bring those people into your channel and bring them into what you're doing, and then those people become invested in you as a creator and they start learning from what you're doing, that's networking properly. And then networking can also be networking to provide value to somebody else's community so that you can possibly build up that relationship to a point of doing a collaboration with them. And don't just look at I would be crazy as small as I am right now to try to go to, Nick Nimmin or D Nimmin or Daniel Batal or Brian G. Johnson and try to get a collaboration with them right now because I'm too small. Nobody knows who I am. And quite frankly, they don't care because I'm too small of a channel. But there's a lot of smaller channels that are using YouTube growth strategies, just like me, just like Brandon, like Adrian, who's just starting her new channel. Dropped it earlier, but y'all make sure y'all check out her premiere tonight. Because she's premiering her new channel on YouTube growth tonight. There's the link in the chat. Collaboration is the best way to grow your channel. A year and a half ago, well, just a little over a year ago, I was invited to go do a collaboration with a bunch of other YouTube channels. It's what really got me kickstarted with the Storage Scavenger. I went from 35 subscribers to 250 subscribers overnight, and I was over 300 subscribers within a week. And then it continued to steadily grow there. And it was all because of collaboration with other YouTubers. A large part of my growth on that channel was collaborating with other YouTubers. Yeah, some channels on 5,000 subscribers, only 20 average views, they're probably doing sub for sub to gain those subscribers. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's networking the wrong way. Sub for sub is not what I'm talking about. I think that's terrible. It's stupid, and it hurts your channel more than it helps your channel. But the reason why so many people do it is because YouTube put a lot of attention on subscriber numbers when they make it required to unlock features. I think that they should change, and I've said this several times in a lot of my videos, they should change the monetization requirements to take away subscriber count as a monetization requirement, because then people would quit focusing on subscriber numbers, which is one of the least important metrics per YouTube on your channel. The times that subscribers counts matter is one, to get your unlocked features. Two, it does count towards your ability to get brand deals. If you're trying to monetize with brand deals and working with brands, they want you to hit certain milestones in subscribers before they'll work with you. So subscribers help there. Uh, but views are way more important than subscribers. If you're getting 5,000 subscribers and only 20 views on a video, you're doing something seriously wrong in how you're building subscribers and in how you're engaging people with your content. And I see it. I see people that have 30,000 subscribers. I saw a channel that I was watching just a few days ago with over 30,000 subscribers, and they're averaging 100 to 200 views per video. How can you have 30,000 subscribers and only get 100 of those people to watch a new video when you launch it? And I mean, it happens. And sometimes it's because somebody made a pivot and people didn't unsubscribe, but they don't watch that content anymore. But more often than not, it's because they got into some kind of networking or the fake networking where everybody supports everybody kind of channels, which I've been involved in some of those. I've gotten subscribers from some of those, and they're dead subscribers. They're people that subscribe only so that you will subscribe to them, and they don't come back and watch your channel. And that's not what you want. That hurts your channel, because when you put out a new video and YouTube sees that your own subscribers didn't watch that video, then they're not going to serve it out to more people. That's going to hurt your impression rate, which is going to hurt your ability to get click-throughs, which is going to hurt your video's performance over time. And that's going to hurt your overall channel performance over time. So you want subscribers that are there to watch your content, that are invested in you. Subscribers, the reason why you need more watch time than subscribers is because watch time is more important. It also depends. As you grow bigger, those numbers get smaller naturally. But think about it. If you have 100,000 subscribers and you can get 10% of your viewers to watch, that's 10,000 views on your video. So, but and I still see bigger channels that, they get 1 or 2,000 views initially on a brand new video, because not all of their subscribers come and watch their video. But still, you want a good percentage of your videos. It's still your click-through rate needs to be, again, I try to shoot for a 6 to 7% click-through rate minimum on my videos. And I'm not always there yet, but that's one of the things that we're trying to get to, is 6 to 7% click-through rate. Because what I have found with my own analytics is when I fall below 6 to 7%, YouTube stops serving it to more people. If I fall below about 50% watch time, YouTube stops showing it to more people. So I want to keep my watch time over 50%, and I want to keep my click-through rate over 6%. And I try to shoot for being over 7, because the higher that is, the more people they're going to serve it to, the more YouTube's going to push your channel. That's the key. YouTube triggering the algorithm is all about showing YouTube, this is who my ideal audience is, as fast as you can. This is where that intentionality helps, because if you're intentional about how you build subscribers, if you're intentional about how you target your videos, you're intentional about how you're crafting your thumbnails and everything that you do, if you're being intentional about all of those things on your channel, it's going to help YouTube know who to serve your audience to, and it's going to help you build your channel faster with more passive means, meaning search, meaning more recommended content. And you need to really get some mystery in there, get some things in there that are going to make people question, well, what could it be that they're going to show me how to do? 10% subs to views when you first start out. it's going to go up with time. And again, a lot of the things you got to realize is over time, as you start triggering that algorithm, your non-subscriber views should exceed your subscriber views anyway over time as you grow. Now, that's going to probably be more jaded early on as you're learning how to do keyword research, as you're learning how to create better content, as you're learning how to engage people more. But being intentional, one of the keys I think to being intentional is intentional on your areas of focus. And I talk about this one a lot. Be intentional if you're brand new, if you're just starting out, if you're under 1,000 subscribers. Don't be intentional about your growth. Well, you do need to be intentional about your growth, but don't be focused on your growth. Be focused on your processes, on learning, on improving your content. Be focused, put more attention and intention into improving that next piece of content than worrying about how that last piece of content performed. Because if you're constantly growing, that doesn't mean we don't look at how they're performing. We do, so that we know what to improve. But we're not going to worry about it. We're not going to sit around feeling bad about it and waste time and energy complaining about it. We want to focus on how do we take this information and grow? How do we take this? Success is built on a wall of failures. Everything that we do, we build our successes on all the failures we've had in our past. Every success I'm having right now is built on the failures of my past and learning from those failures. The only way you can build success on that wall of failures, though, is if you learn from the failures. Learn continual growth. Being intentional about growing as a creator instead of growing a following. This is one of the most important things you can do, especially early on, is focus on your own growth. If you focus on your own growth and improving everything you do and continuing to improve, that growth is going to naturally happen without you even trying. All right, Brendan, thank you for coming. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Being intentional about every single thing you do as you create, being intentional. One of the things that we're very intentional about is when we talk about having a value proposition, we generally talk about having a value proposition for your content, for your channel as a whole, which was where we started. But I also want you to think about having a value proposition for every single piece of content you put on your channel. So, and that value proposition should be in alignment with your overall value proposition, but it's also very specific to that piece of content. What is the one thing, if you watch this piece of content, that I want my viewers to take away? Like today, I want that one thing I want you to take away is to being intentional about every single thing you do in your YouTube journey. Being intentional and thinking about and understanding not just what we do. We're not just doing it because some expert told us to do it. We're doing it because there's a reason for it. Why? This is the number one thing you can ask yourself with everything you do. Why are we doing this? What's it going to do for my channel? What's it going to do for my audience? What's it going to do to help me grow? And then the second one is this: how does this serve my community? Those two questions should be number one in everything you do on your channel. Why are we doing this, and how does this serve my community? Everything we do. Now, one of the things that we've been incorporating, and it was mentioned a little earlier before a bunch of y'all came in, is there's a link up in the chat. There's also down in the description for those of y'all watching in the replay. You can buy me a coffee. We have the support the channel. The reason why we're doing this is because that's what we're using to fund improving our content. That's helping us to buy the gear that we need to upgrade our content. That's helping us to pay for the services that we use to run our content so we can continue bringing these live streams to you. Those donations are paying for our StreamYard. That's what's paying for our TubeBuddy fee so we can continue doing our research. So these are why we monetize our channel, even so early on with under 100 subscribers, because the little bit we get goes into helping the channel grow so that we can continue bringing you more. And we're trying to do things to help more people. So if you go to the Buy Me a Coffee, there's 3 things you can do. You could give us a coffee, which is just a donation to support the channel for our free content. We have a low cost membership where we're going to be doing some members only content. And by the way, I just set all this up this morning, so there's no members content in there yet. I just set it up this morning, but we have some already in production where we're going deeper into some of these topics that we talk about in all of our content. We're going to be taking things a little bit deeper than what we do here in our free content. We're also doing a members only live stream. And for people that want to work with me one-on-one with their channel, if you have something you're struggling with, you want to work with me one-on-one, if you want to understand how to do something better, if you want to do a really deep dive review where we dig into your analytics as well as just looking at the surface of your content, we can do that as well. We have consultations available. So you can check out Buy Me a Coffee, and that helps support our channel. But it also is a way that we can provide more value to the community on a deeper level than what we're doing right here. How does this serve the community? It allows me the opportunity to have the time to go deeper with people that want to go deeper. So that's why we do things like Serve Me a Coffee. And, we do invite people to join us in our social media around the web. And the reason why is because we're trying to grow all the other platforms. One of the things about being intentional is not putting all your eggs in one basket. I love YouTube, and my primary focus is right here on YouTube. But if YouTube were to shut down YouTube creator space and say, we don't like y'all putting content out on how to do YouTube anymore, or if they were to make a change that, took us off the platform, which they could do at a moment's notice. I've seen it happen to other people. I want to have established myself as a creator on other platforms as well, so I can make a shift in how we're doing it. So we have our other social media places, and it just gives me a place to engage people more. It gives other people an opportunity to engage me more and go a little bit deeper and get with other things and see some of the other stuff that we do. Like here, I'm very, very focused just specifically on YouTube growth, on Instagram. I just recently started posting on Instagram. We're talking a little bit about YouTube growth. We're talking about other stuff. We're talking about mindset stuff. I got family pictures. I show off my kids over there, which I don't do so much on this channel. So those are some things that, people want to follow me in other places, you can. But I would rather do that, and links to all of those be in the description. But one of the things that we're trying to do, though, is we're trying to build our other platforms, but at the same time, keeping people focused on YouTube and keeping our focus right here on our YouTube channel. That's why we don't have those links to all those social places in our banner, because I don't want to send people off the platform. I'm too small to be doing that. But if you do want to follow me, that's where you can find me. I show it up on the screen, so you can, at your leisure, you can go and find me in those other places later on. And so the number one key takeaway I want you to take away is, just think about the intentionality behind everything you do and being very, very specific and knowing why you're doing what you're doing and thinking through what's going to be the result of me doing this. Is it take me towards the goals that I have? Is it taking me towards creating the vision I have for this channel? Or is it taking me away? Is it something that's going to hinder our progress as we grow our channel? And this is where everything that we do is very, very strategically and intentionally done. And so we're going to be going deeper into intentionality, the mindset, the way we think about YouTube. This is just our first episode of the new show. As we come into the new year, we got a plan going forward. Thank you guys for joining us. If there's any questions, make sure y'all drop them in the chat. We'll stay for a few more minutes. Anything, if you want to talk more about intentionality, or if you want to ask any questions you have about YouTube in general, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we will do a little Q&A. Did my chat freeze? Or did everybody leave? Ow. That's the thing about having to wear these headphones. They kind of hurt my ears just a little bit. But it's all right. We got it. It's looking good. You're still here. And I'm hoping that's, Fleetwood Patch. I haven't come through on the stream yet, so I can't pop it up on the screen yet. I'm watching the live chat. Yeah, I'm showing 5 people. It goes between 4 and 5. Marie's still here. I just didn't see anything coming in the chat for a while. So, there it goes. Now it updates. So, I just want you to consider thinking about the game plan. Every single thing you do needs to have a purpose. You need to have your goals. And we're going to be I'm kind of trying to figure out how to go about it. We're talking about putting together a vision for your channel. I've talked about it a little bit here and there, and some people have asked me a few questions about it. And having a vision for where you want to be. And that's a lot more than just having goals. And it's about having a plan and having an overall idea of who you serve, how do you serve them, what do you want your channel to be, and everything you do needs to be serving that vision and moving your channel towards that vision. And when you do that, it's going to help you to really drill into it. Answers, when you bring this intentionality, it answers about 75% of the questions people ask me all the time anyway. How do I get more subscribers? Be more intentional in how you put out your content. How do you get more people to watch your content? Be very intentional about how you talk to them. Find out what language connects with the people that are your ideal audience. The more you drill down and the more intentional you are with knowing who you specifically talk to with your channel, the more you're going to be able to talk to them in language they understand and in language that they're able to comprehend. The more you talk to people in that way, the more you're going to be able to draw people through your content and keep them engaged with what you're saying. And then it's also understanding their modalities of learning. Everybody has different modalities of learning. Different people in different niches maybe connect with different styles of presentation. There's a lot of presentations I see in, for example, screen share videos. If you watch most YouTube screen share videos where people are, teaching how to use a software or something, they're very robotic and monotone in how they present their content. And so I try to be a little different when I'm doing that. I try to bring a little bit more energy into how I do those presentations, because I've done some of those presentations that were very robotic and very do this, then do this, then do this. And one of the things I have found through doing that myself is they don't get much watch time. People bounce, people leave because they're probably bored to death about 30 seconds into the video. So instead, you bring more energy, you vary your voice, you change your pacing here, you speed up, you slow down, you focus on pacing yourself. And you do this in a way that's going to keep people engaged in what you're trying to teach them. So, what is your goals for your channel and who do you want to serve? Yep. That's okay. Cleaning is always a good idea too. Yep. You need to know who you serve and how you serve them. That's what your value proposition. It tells you who you serve. It should state who you're serving, how you're serving them, and what's the one core key takeaway that they should be able to leave your channel with. That's your value proposition. And then have that value proposition drill it down for every piece of content. So who am I serving with this piece of content today? How am I going to help them? What am I going to do? And what's the benefit to them? What benefit are they going to take away? And that benefit is what should drive your thumbnail and your title. That's what's going to add the compelling nature to your thumbnails and your titles, is having that key benefit of their stuff. So what's the finished product that they should be taking away? This is why, like if you're doing cooking recipes, a thumbnail of the finished recipe, and then as soon as you do that hook in the intro, that hook should be, this is what we're going to make for you today, and show them a picture of what they're making and show them that finished product. Now we're going to go backwards and we're going to show you how to get this result. In the woodworking niche, the ones that do really well, they show off that finished product. Or if they're doing like a restoration, they might show a before and after picture of the finished product, but they're showing that finished product in their thumbnail. They're showing what their end result is going to be. And then the very first thing that they do is they show, hey, we just made this. Here it is. This is what it's going to look like. Now we're going to take you back and show you how we made it. And that's what gets people engaged and hooked and wanting to watch. Hey, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous. I want to make something just like that. And then they want to watch the video to see all the steps. And then they might watch the video over and over again. Yeah. And with so many people out there spouting different time frames. Oh, you have to post. I believe in consistent posting, but I learned a long time ago, you post when you have something of value to bring to the community. If it's once a day, it's once a day. If it's once a week, it's once a week. If it's once a month, it's once a month. When do you have something of value to bring to your community? That's when you need to post a new piece of content. Now, that doesn't mean that we slack off. We need to always be trying to figure out a solid posting schedule to trigger the algorithm and to keep people coming back. Because if you go too long between postings, you will lose people. But at the same time, don't post just for the sake of posting, because that hurts your channel. Quality is more important than quantity. Value is more important than quantity. Bringing value. How do you define the value that you bring to the community? Well, one, you don't define the value you bring to the community. The community decides what value you bring to the community. You can do everything you can to try to bring value to the community, but it's up to them what value they get out of what you say. So it's out of your control. But focus on what you're trying to provide. Focus on the value you're trying to bring. You're going to have haters. You're going to get thumbs down. I get thumbs down every once in a while. I get them on the storage scavenger almost every video before I go live. It happens. Yeah, it's all engagement. YouTube doesn't distinguish between a dislike and a like as far as engagement factors. It counts as engagement. It boosts your channel. So, and haters gonna hate. It don't matter. I just ignore them and move on. I try not to give them any more attention than I have to. I have people that hate me. I have people that were at one time loyal followers of me that now hate me, and they won't even say hi to me if they see me in a live stream. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. I have people that will automatically thumbs down my videos just because it's me posting a video, no matter what it is. If you noticed, Dee and Daniel on their live stream this morning had 3 thumbs down before they ever went live. So if people are hating your content, that means you're doing something right. So, um, but having a clear plan for your content, every piece of content you have should add value to your community in some way. And you need to be constantly thinking about shifting. And one of the things of that value add, as you grow, the value changes. Your value proposition may change as you grow. The audience you serve may change as you grow. We make pivots in our business as we grow, as we reach different milestones. We're going to automatically make pivots in the strategic approach. The strategies that we teach is to help you get to your first 1,000 subscribers. And that same strategy can pretty much help get you to your first 10,000 subscribers. But once you get over 10,000 subscribers, strategically, what you do changes a little bit to get from a 10,000 to 100,000. And to get from 100,000 to 1,000,000, the strategy changes even more. So that's one of the things a lot of people have to understand is, that's why some of the smaller channels, we give a little bit different advice than some of the bigger channels. Because I even talked to some of the bigger channels. And I've asked them, well, you say you're helping small tubers grow. What do you consider a small YouTuber? Anybody with 10,000 subscribers is a small YouTuber to them. Well, strategically, what it takes to get from 0 subscribers to 100 subscribers or 0 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers is different than what it takes to get from 10,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers. So as you grow, you're going to find that how you define those things changes. But strategically, I have figured out from looking at things that strategically I approach things differently depending on exactly where those numbers and where that data is. Because I've found from talking to people that those strategic approaches change. Now, there's some things that we do that are best practices that are going to help you drive things forward. Some opportunities come up that are going to be easier the more subscribers you have, though. For example, it's a lot easier to get a collaboration if you have 10,000 subscribers than it is if you have 100 subscribers. It's a lot easier to get a collaboration with those bigger channels. But if you have 100 subscribers, you can get collaborations with other channels with 50 subscribers or 0 subscribers, and you can get collaborations with other channels that have 200 subscribers. And I actually have my Conversations on Content podcast that's coming up on Friday, by the way. The entire show is going to be on collaborations. We got kind of 5 types of collaborations that you can do with your channel. And so I haven't set up the stream yet. I'm going to probably do that this afternoon. But I'm still working on the thumbnail for it. But that's what we're going to be talking about is the 5 types of collaboration that you can do to grow your channel. And one of the things to do, being intentional, is being intentional about, your content plan. For example, when I start recording a piece of content, I'm already thinking about what's the next piece of content I want them to watch. Because then I can drop things into that piece of content that's going to kind of preview what's in that end screen. So, we have that end screen pop up. We have a pinned comment. We have a link in our description. They all link to the same piece of content. We've gone over this in some of our other episodes. One of the key ways to be intentional about getting those clicks is to drop teasers about that piece of content throughout the video that you're recording. And then you can lead people into clicking on that piece of content that you're recommending at the end. If you know what piece of content you're going to recommend them to before you ever record your video, it's really easy to do that. But if you get all the way through your recording and then as an afterthought, think about, okay, we're going to recommend you to another piece of content before we leave, it's a lot harder to direct people into that piece of content because you weren't intentional from the start about where you were going. Hold on just a second. Sorry, my wife was coming by. She needed the car keys. Thank you. We will see you at the premiere. Have a great night. You're probably already gone because that was like 5 minutes ago. Networking. Networking is complicated. I've actually done some content on networking. I've actually got in my plans for next year a whole series of videos on how to properly network and how to get started. I'm a huge introvert, by the way. 90% of my social contact with people is right here on YouTube. Um, I am not a get out there and network kind of person in most cases, but it's one of the best things you can do to drive your business forward. And because of that, I recommend learning how to do it. And it just takes some practice. It takes getting out there. But those of you that know me, you see me in other live streams. If you go to other YouTube growth channels, you'll see me a lot of times in the chats, talking to people, answering questions. You know, we go to Q&As with other people. I know, like, especially like D Nimmin, Nick Nimmin, they have their little forms that people fill out, but there's still people asking questions in the chat. And I know a lot of times they don't get to those questions in the chat. So I'll be in the chat answering questions that people ask in the chat. I've gotten people that follow me here because of me doing that. And, you know, we're just constantly doing that. We do the same thing with comments. So after somebody's videos, I'll go through the comments and I'll leave comments answering people's questions that the channel owner hasn't gotten to yet, sharing my experience, sharing my advice, helping other people with comments. And I don't spend all day every day doing that, but you know, we do at least a little bit. We spend at least a couple of hours a day doing that to continue to grow our channel. It's one of the most important things we can do to build our following. So I do appreciate everybody coming. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Thank you guys for showing up and enjoying our content. I hope that this has provided some value and it's going to help you grow your channel. If you want to know more, make sure you join us on Friday as we talk more about networking and collaboration and how you can use these things to grow your network, to grow your content strategy, and get more people to follow what you're doing. It's something we're being more intentional about this year. We're hoping to do more collaborations going forward, and it may even wind up being a collaboration. I've got somebody I'm talking to about that already. So we will see you Friday right here, Conversations on Content. We do that at 9:30 a.m. every Friday. So join us for the Conversations on Content podcast. We'll see you there.